Jose Mourinho believes he is a better coach at Manchester United than he was at Chelsea. The Portuguese won the Premier League 3 times, during 2 separate spells at Stamford Bridge. He also won the title in Portugal, Italy and Spain, and guided Porto and Inter Milan to Champions League glory. But he believes Manchester United are seeing him at his best, reports the Manchester Evening News. I am a much better coach today, precisely because of the different control of my emotions. The way I deal with difficulties. I feel more mature, Mourinho told Portuguese publication Record. After a disappointing 6th-place finish in the league last term, United are joint top of the Premier League, going into the second international break. New signing Romelu Lukaku has 10 goals in 11 games, after choosing United over Chelsea this summer, and Mourinho believes the Belgian has developed into one of the game's top strikers by seizing every opportunity. Asked about Lukaku's blistering start, Mourinho added, I don't want to speak about this progress because if I do that it looks like we have done something extraordinary in 3 months, something he hasn't done in the other years of his career. It's not fair. It's been about evolution. I think every step in his career, he has got it, he has grabbed it with both hands, since his first loan to West Brom. He grabbed the opportunity with both hands, fighting for his evolution. He has been very strong in his desire to be playing in a team with other objectives now. Manchester United could have a fight on their hands if they are to keep Marouane Fellaini and Daley Blind at the club in January, according to reports. United are said to be at risk of Marouane Fellaini, who has been somewhat of a revelation this season. The Belgium international is out of contract next summer, which leaves him free to sign a pre-contract agreement with overseas clubs in January. And according to The Sun, United will have to up Fellaini's contract to around £130,000 a week from £80,000 a week to keep him. Galatasaray are one of a number of clubs who have been linked with the midfielder, but Jose Mourinho recently claimed it would be easier for the Turkish side to sign him than Fellaini. Daley Blind could also be a wanted man in January, according to reports. The Dutch defender has fallen down the pecking order after recent impressive performances from Ashley Young, and, with Luke Shaw also set to return, his game time could be limited. With that in mind, TalkSport claim Fenerbahce are considering making a bid to sign him when the window opens in January. The report claims Blind is growing increasingly frustrated at his lack of opportunity, especially given the World Cup next summer. As Sunsport revealed, the Manchester United star has returned to the US to aid his recovery from a hamstring injury he picked up at the start of September. The 24-year-old was in America on the club's pre-season tour and was seen with the woman while training with Romelu Lukaku in July. Pogba was seen flirting and cuddling the woman at the UCLA's Drake Stadium. Later that night the pair were seen going for dinner together at Hollywood hotspot Tao. That rendezvous took place in Los Angeles, but it appears as if she has traveled 2,800 miles to meet up with the midfielder once again. Pogba was seen in Miami Beach cuddling the woman on Sunday. The pair went out for a long meal with her family, and she was even spotted wearing a necklace with his PP logo on it. New York's Drive Clean rebate gives residents of the state up to a $2,000 break when purchasing a new electric car or plug-in hybrid from a participating car dealership. It went into effect on March 21, 2017, and since then, from April to June, EV plug-in hybrid car sales are up 74% over the same time period last year according to InsideEVs. New York's favorite green car since the new incentive went into effect is the Toyota Prius Prime, with more than 40% of the rebates processed for that car. The Chevy Bolt claimed 12%, while the Chevy Volt and Ford Fusion Energy counted for 10% each. The most receptive part of New York to the Drive Clean rebate is Long Island, with 33% of applicants hailing from that region. The Drive Clean rebate is part of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in New York by 40% by 2030. The state government is also contributing to this goal with a plan to almost double the number of public charging stations in New York from 1,700 to 3,000 in 2018. Those extra charging stations planned will be good for the many New Yorkers who are quickly adopting plug-in vehicles. This successful incentive is further evidence that high costs are one of the biggest factors in the slow adoption of electrified cars. Electric and plug-in hybrids are the fastest-selling cars on the used market, with drivers more willing to buy them after they've taken a depreciation hit. If you're wondering when alternative fuel cars will really take off, wait until the costs before incentives come down to truly be equal or lower than conventional internal combustion engine counterparts. Tesla has fallen behind on production of its mass-market Model 3 vehicle, making only 260 cars in the third quarter of 2017. It says production bottlenecks are the reason behind its less than anticipated delivery of its cheapest electric car, but emphasized there would be no fundamental issues with the Model 3 production or supply chain. Although the vast majority of manufacturing subsystems at both our California car plant and our Nevada gigafactory are able to operate at high rate, a handful have taken longer to activate than expected, Tesla said in its third quarter statement. Tesla said it delivered a total of 26,150 vehicles in the third quarter, including 14,065 Model S and 11,865 Model X cars, an increase of 17.7% on the second quarter of 2017. In July, Tesla chief executive Elon Musk warned of manufacturing hell for Tesla when it aimed to produce 5,000 Model 3s per week by the end of 2017 and 10,000 per week next year. Mr. Musk has his sights set on adding a commercial electric truck alongside his mass-market electric cars. The entrepreneur has set the scheduled unveiling of the electric truck to October, a month later than previously expected. Tesla's electric truck is expected to have a range of 200 to 300 miles. Mr. Musk also has his eyes set beyond the car market, as he looks to transport humans to Mars by 2022 using autonomous spacecraft carried by his SpaceX rockets. The billionaire's love affair with space travel is marked by his desire to stockpile 3 new spacecraft models, adding to his current fleet of 3 rockets. General Motors announced today that it will introduce 2 new all-electric vehicles within the next 18 months, the first of at least 20 new EVs that the automaker will launch by 2023. GM also renewed its commitment to hydrogen fuel cell technology, a clean fuel concept that still needs major infrastructure upgrades before it can become a viable alternative. At a press conference in Detroit this morning, GM's Executive Vice President of Global Product Development Mark Roos said that the company was committed to an all-electric future, but cautioned that it wasn't going to happen by flipping a switch. These aren't just words in a war of press releases, Roos added. We are far along in our plan to lead the way to that future world. The new cars that will be introduced will be based on learnings from the Chevy Bolt, GM's well-received mass-market EV. But that doesn't mean that GM's future EVs will look exactly like the Bolt, or even share a similar architecture. Whatever we do, from an electrification standpoint, the next version will be better than the version we have on the road, Roos said. That vision involves everything that we've learned from the Bolt, but the architecture piece of this continues to evolve. That includes lighter vehicles and more flexible battery packs with an evolving number of fuel cells, he added. GM's announcement is part of a broader push by automakers worldwide to transition their production toward all-electric vehicles and away from internal combustion engine cars. Last month, Daimler AG, the parent company of Mercedes-Benz, said it plans to offer electrified versions of all of its cars by 2022. Volvo said it would cease production of gas-only vehicles by 2019. And Volkswagen said it would electrify its entire 300-car lineup by 2030. But compared to its competitors, GM's announcement was slightly more tame, committing to almost 24 new all-electric vehicles while steering clear of a much grander promise of across-the-board electrification. Because of the different regulatory environments and the different duty cycles that our customers want, there isn't a single year that I can give you on that, Roos said. GM also unveiled a new concept vehicle, the SURUS, or Silent Utility Rover Universal Superstructure, a fuel cell-powered, four-wheel steer concept vehicle on a heavy-duty truck frame that's driven by two electric motors. Roos said that GM's hydrogen-powered cars will likely lean toward commercial applications, like delivery trucks or ambulances. This makes more sense than producing retail fuel cell cars, like competitors like Honda, Hyundai, and Kia are doing. Outside of California, the fueling infrastructure for hydrogen cars is practically non-existent. Electrification is all the rage in the auto industry, but the cars themselves represent only a tiny fraction of the entire market. Roos was bullish on GM's ability to turn a profit, however. We will be profitable, he said. Period.